Well, good day and welcome back to another training. We are here, ladies and gentlemen, to get you to Digi Millionaire land. Now, if you're new to our trainings, we like to start all of our trainings off with something that's nice and picturesque. By compliments of Expedia, we are in Niagara Falls. Now, this is what we're going to talk about today because the markets are getting absolutely hammered today. Bitcoin is getting slapped around like a pimp saying, give me my money. My gosh, that's what's happening. Okay. And rarely do you see anybody that's talking about this space. There's some folks out there, for instance, that, and I subscribe to these newsletters. I subscribe to about $1,200 a month worth of tools and resources and newsletters and things of that nature. And, when you get their sales material or what have you, they're always talking about the upside to Bitcoin. But rarely does anyone talk about what happens when the market is getting hammered like it's getting hammered today. Well, I wanted to talk about that today because our objective overall is to reveal to you a believable path to you becoming a Bitcoin, or what we like to refer to as a Digi Millionaire. And so Digi is for the entire space, short for digital currencies, but it's for the entire space. There's well over 1,500 Digi assets today. And so our plan is to get you to Digi Millionaire land, if you will, in as little as 3 to 5 years. I'm going to put all of my disclaimers in there, okay? That's our target. No matter what your current financial situation is. Now, by the way, make sure you're watching today's training on your best device. Your phone may not be your best device. The screen might be too small. You might not be able to hear it well. So, wherever you're getting this training from, you might need to jump over to a tablet or to a PC or what have you. Okay? All right, so what happens when the market goes down? All right, and what we're going to talk about today is how to preserve Digi value. For instance, a lot of people in 2017 came into this space because Bitcoin was going bonkers. Bitcoin started off the year at less than $1,000 per Bitcoin. January 1 of 2017 was in $900 and some change. But by the year's end, Bitcoin had gotten as high as $20,000. Didn't end at $20,000, but it got as high as $20,000 in December of 2017. A lot of people jumped in when Bitcoin was at $17,000, $18,000, $19,000, $20,000 a coin. And then they saw Bitcoin get smacked around, giving back some of those gains, which is to be expected. And we've seen this before. We've been in this space since 2014. Now, we didn't really get immersed into it until the first part of 2017. But even in 2017, with Bitcoin making 1,200% gains from January 1 to December 31st, all right, meaning 12 times your money, we saw multiple times throughout the year that Bitcoin got slapped around. And lost quite a bit of value for short periods of time before rebounding and ultimately hitting new highs. Now, over the last, since 2010, there's only been 1 year that Bitcoin has lost value for the whole year. All right, and I believe that was 2013, or maybe it was 2014. 2014, I believe it was 2014. Okay, so what we're going to do in today's training is show you how to preserve Digi value, or how those that are following us, if they follow what we're sharing, how they're able to preserve Digi value, one, and number two, how they're able to increase their Bitcoin holdings even in a downturn, even in a down market. Now, the first thing I want to do is I want to go to coinmarketcap.com. coinmarketcap.com. I'm going to refresh the screen so we'll get the most up-to-date prices on CoinMarketCap, okay? And I just want you to take a look. Give us a moment. There we go. take a look at what's happening in the marketplace. It is the Red Sea. It is the Red Sea. Bitcoin is down 12% in the last 24 hours. Well, wait a minute. This was on an asset that was, in the multi-thousands. So a 12% haircut is a really big deal, okay? And you can see over the last 7 days, it's down 19%. Now, as Bitcoin goes, so does the rest of the marketplace, because Bitcoin is still the dominant asset in the marketplace. Right now, Bitcoin is, let's see here. All right, it's 42% of the marketplace, meaning if you took all of the Digi assets, all right, all of the tokens and coins in supply right now, multiply them times their market price now, you would come up with what's called a market capitalization. And Bitcoin, you can see the market cap right now as we're doing this, is $322 million. Well, I remember in July of 2017, it got down to 60. That's not million, that's billion, excuse me. In 2017, the market had a sharp correction in June, July of 2017, and the market cap came down to 60 billion. So we're still way up from those lows, okay? But at the height, we've seen the market cap approach 800 billion. So we're in the middle of, as I'm doing this recording, a 2-month downturn in the markets. Well, how do we deal with that? That's the purpose of today's training. So just real quickly, look at this sea of red. Ethereum's down 13% in the last 24 hours, down 20% in the last 7 days. Ripple's down 13.99, and you might be saying, "Man, you sound kind of pumped up. Why are you sounding so motivated?" Well, because I'm here for the long haul, and this just means that these assets that I want anyway for my longer-term portfolio are cheaper today. So this is a day that some of our folks say, "Hey, we look for these and we look to go shopping." However, I want to share something else with you on today, given the fact that the market is down. Now, let me tell you what tends to happen, all right? And we could probably separate those that are in this space in maybe 4 or 5 categories. Well, number one, you're going to have people that they're just staying away from this space. They hear stuff in mass media. Mass media says, I told you on almost every training that we talked about, there's somebody out there that's going to say Bitcoin is, a scam and stay away from Bitcoin. Remember, had you had $100 in Bitcoin invested in Bitcoin in 2010, by May of 2017, that would have been worth $75 million. $100 to $75 million. You probably don't want to listen to somebody who says stay away from Bitcoin when you could have taken $100 and turned it into $75 million in 7 years. All right, so let's not even pay those people any mind. How about that, okay? Whether they're in the mass media or whether it's your brother-in-law, let's just not pay them any mind, all right? Then you have a group of folks that are in the market, and, they got into it. They heard all the hype, got excited, but they aren't very educated just yet. And so maybe they bought at 20,000 or 18,000 or 11,000, and now Bitcoin's down to 8,000. They're scared and they are panicking, and now they're saying this stuff doesn't work, and they sell their Bitcoin holdings. Well, there's never any reason to sell at a loss, okay? And then you have those folks that are Bitcoin enthusiasts that are buy and hold type of investors. They're like if in the stock market, they would buy a good stock and they would hold on to it, looking for it to appreciate over time. That's probably the majority of people that are in the Bitcoin space, buyers and holders. They're saying, well, guys, I wasn't there when Bitcoin first got started. Wasn't there in 2010 with $100. but I'm here now and I want to buy some Bitcoin and I just want to hold on to it because I'm hearing that by 2020 it might be worth $250,000 of Bitcoin, and by 2025 it might be worth $1 million for Bitcoin. Okay, or maybe you've seen some of our other trainings where we showed, if you had invested $1,000 in Ripple in the last 12 months, even though she's down now today, your $1,000 would have been like $140,000 the last time I did those numbers. Or if you had invested $1,000 into NIM over the last 12 months, and NIM is, she's down today too, your $1,000 would have been, I believe it was $40,000. So you've got your buy and hold, folks. Now let me tell you what we do that's a little different. Is we trade to build a position in the assets that we want. We trade to build a position in the assets that we want. Now, we're not day trading, although I'm looking at the markets every day. We're not teaching our folks to analyze charts or things like that, though I do that. And I use that for a basis of some of the calls that we make. All right, so let me show you one of the things that we do, okay? We have a number of tools, a number of resources. I mentioned that between all of the tools and publications and newsletters that I'm subscribed to, dealing in this space and maybe some other investment spaces like the stock market or what have you, or the Forex market, I'm at about $1,200 a month investing in my Digi business, investing in my trading and investment enterprises, okay? Now, one of the things is we make calls to our audience when we believe that over a period of time, Bitcoin is more likely to go up. That would be a buy on Bitcoin. Or when we believe over a period of time, Bitcoin is more likely to go down. Okay? And so here's what we teach our folks to do. So here was an example of when we got what we would call a sell confirmation, where it's more likely, based on the sell confirmation, we can be wrong, okay, but it's more likely that this asset, Bitcoin, is going to go down for the foreseeable future. Now, that foreseeable future may just be a few days, okay? It doesn't mean for months or years in most cases. Normally, it's just a few days. But it's more likely that it's going to go down. And so here's one of the things that we teach, okay? Your longer-term Bitcoin holdings, maybe you have them sitting in a hard wallet. And if you don't know what a hard wallet is, you'll learn what that is. That's a way to really protect your assets. Okay, so your longer-term Bitcoin holdings, we're not talking about that. We're just letting that ride. Set that aside in what we call your Digi savings, okay? But what you're using to trade with, where I'm going in and I'm looking to buy assets and using, in most cases, Bitcoin as the gateway. So maybe I'm looking to buy some Ethereum, I'm looking to buy some NIM, I'm looking to buy some Litecoin, and I'm exchanging my Bitcoin for Litecoin. I'm exchanging my Bitcoin for Ethereum, as an example, okay? So what I have in my trading accounts, that's what I'm looking at when we make a sell call. So when we make a sell call, we are going to move some of our trading assets out of Bitcoin. Now, we're not panic selling. We're not saying, oh my gosh, this thing doesn't work. What we're doing is we're looking to preserve Digi value, number one. And then number two, when we see a market turn back up and it now issues a buy signal for us, we're looking to get back in, and hopefully, if we take advantage of a sell signal, the market drops strongly. We want the market to burn, baby, burn when we take advantage of a sell signal, okay? So that it drops, that when it starts to reverse and go back up, we can jump back in Bitcoin and buy it at a cheaper price. So here's a good example, okay? So we got a sell signal, as you see the little arrow here. And at that point, Bitcoin was going for roughly $11,300. Now, let me tell you what we would teach our folks to do. When we issue a sell signal, take all or portion, consider it, all right? We can't advise you, all right? Take all or portion of your tradable Bitcoin, what you're using to trade with, and move that over to either cash or what we call a cash equivalent. You'll learn more about what a cash equivalent is as you become a part of us more intimately. All right. Now, the purpose of doing this is not because we're afraid, not because we're panicking. It's to safeguard principle, safeguard value. Because in this example, what happened is Bitcoin, shortly after the sell call or the call to, hey, it looks like Bitcoin's going to go down, it did. And in just 8 days, keep in mind, Bitcoin trades, this DigiSpace trades 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365, okay? So this isn't like the stock market where it's 8 trading days. This is actually 8 calendar days. The market dropped from 11,300 to this bottom here, the end of this wick, 5,993. That's roughly a 47% decline in 8 days. Now, if you were simply a buyer and a holder of Bitcoin, and let's say you had one Bitcoin when it was valued at 11,300, so you go into your account and you see, wow, I've got one Bitcoin and it's worth $11,300. Yay! And then 8 days later, you go and you see, what the heck just happened? My Bitcoin is only worth $5,993. Well, see, those that follow what we're teaching would have moved all or some of their Bitcoin over to the sidelines in either cash or what we would refer to as a cash equivalent. And we could have waited out this hurricane. And we would not have lost that digi value. Okay? Now, a few days later, you can see, by the way, with each of these are called candles. Each red one, the market was down for that day. Each blue one, the market was up for that day. Okay? All right, now, a few days passes, and now we started to get a buy signal. So everything from a technical standpoint that we look at was suggesting that in the short term, Bitcoin is now more likely to go up than it is to go down. All right. We weren't trying to catch the very bottom. We don't know how far down she was going to go. So we waited for some confirmation, and right here, we got that confirmation. Hey, now let's get back in. And she was going for roughly $8,800. Now, we don't teach our folks to do this on your entire Bitcoin nest egg. All right. Again, depending on what your resources are, you may have Bitcoin sitting in a hard wallet or sitting in a desktop wallet like Exodus or what have you. That we kind of consider like your Digi savings account. All right. But we're talking about what you have in your trading account. If you're trading in Poloniex or Binance or Bittrex. And if you haven't heard of those are places where you can buy and sell, buy and sell, buy and sell, buy and sell. And you'll learn that as you follow us more intimately. All right, so look at this. So we get a new buy signal at 8,800. Now look at what happened here. The couple of major things happened here. Number one, those that took advantage of the sell signal moved some or all of their Bitcoin to cash or cash equivalent, so that when it went from 11,300 all the way down to 5,993, they didn't feel the pain of the decline. My gosh, that's powerful. Then, when a new buy signal came about, they were now able to come off the sidelines. Let's assume they had one Bitcoin, that they sold up here at 11,300. Now they were able to come off the sidelines and buy Bitcoin when it was at 8,800. But they had $11,300 in this scenario, one Bitcoin that they sold for 11,300. They took the 11,300 and bought back in at 8,800. So what did that mean? That had you been following us, had you gotten that sales call, had you taken advantage of it, had you moved one Bitcoin from 11 to 11,300 in cash or cash equivalent, bought back at $8,800, now instead of having one Bitcoin, you'd have 1.284 Bitcoins. Your Bitcoin holdings, in this example, increased by 28.4% without you ever putting any more money into this space. I want that to sink in. Oh my gosh, that's powerful. So, by taking advantage of the sell call, we were able to move some, if not all, of our Bitcoin assets over to the sidelines in cash or a cash equivalent. You'll understand what that means as you follow us more intimately. We then sat back. We waited for the hurricane to pass. We waited for the tornado to pass. And we were unscathed because we were sitting over in cash. We weren't panicking. We were just sitting over in cash, waiting for the bottom to come, and then waiting for some confirmation that it looked like that for the foreseeable future, it looked as if Bitcoin was going to go up. And let's get back in and ride the wave. But now, because we sold at 11,300 in this example, and we bought back in at 8,800 with one Bitcoin at 11,300, we're able to purchase 1.284 Bitcoins worth with our 11,300 because we bought it at 8,800 at that point. We just increased our Bitcoin holdings at by 28.4%. Now, my buy and my hold person, they had it at 11,300. It went down to almost 6,000. Or just under 6,000. Now it's back to 8,800. Great for them. My buy, sell at the appropriate time to move to cash so I can buy again person is at 8,800, but they're sitting on 1.284 Bitcoins versus one. That's powerful. If that's all you ever got from us, ladies and gentlemen, that's probably worth $2,000 to $3,000 a year. I would gladly pay, and again, I'm one that believes in investing in my business. I would gladly pay $2,000 to $3,000 a year easily for a service that alerted me to, hey, get the heck out of Dodge for the time being. Hey, it's time to get back into the game. So, we issued a sale on February the 22nd. We were actually in one of our live labs, and we had gotten a sale confirmation that particular day. We waited to execute that sale confirmation until we got to the lab, so that our folks would understand why we were doing what we were doing. And we actually issued a sale confirmation on 4 assets: Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and on Dash. All right, so now this is what that looked like. All right, so I just showed you this here, the 11,300 down to 6,000, buying back in at 8,800. All right, the market went up, it went up, it went up. Bam, this right here gave us a new sell signal. And at the time, Bitcoin was going for roughly $10,250. So what would we have done? What did many of our folks, hopefully they did, all right? All we can do is say what we're doing. What we did is we moved trading assets, Bitcoin trading assets, over to the sidelines. And the market went down the next day and down the next day a little bit here. Actually, it slightly up. Down the next day. Then it hit a key area of support, and it looked like our sales call was a bad call, because over the next few trading days, the market continued to go up. But here's the thing. We didn't get a new buy confirmation. We still had a sell confirmation. And sure enough, it hit a key area. Matter of fact, I'm going to go to the markets, and I want to show you this. I'm going to show you this on a Forex chart. I look a lot at the Forex charts, because if you've ever looked at the charts in the exchanges, they are really pathetic, okay? So we looked at the Forex charts, and now this is going to get a little technical, so don't worry about all this stuff. You don't have to do all this stuff. This is the kind of stuff that we do. But I want you to notice this little black line here. We had drawn that on the chart earlier because that represented an area of congestion. Notice here how as she was coming down, she got congested a couple times, hit around this black line and went back up, and hit on this black line and went back up. And right here we see an area of congestion. Right here we see an area of congestion. This would be referred to as resistance. And so though she was going up, we anticipated that she could have some problems right up in this area, and she sure did. And she, boom, she dropped down, and she dropped down heavily. All right, now when we issued this sales call, the asset was going, we issued the sales call, let's see, was it here? Give me a moment. We issued the sales call between these two here. We did it on, did we do that one on? Yeah, we did that one on a webinar, okay? At 10,000, excuse me, 250. Let's go back here, right? And now look at what happened to the market. It went down and down and down and down and had a big up day. We thought it might be changing character here, but then the next day it couldn't confirm a new buy signal. And so we stayed in the sell signal, and that's where we are as I'm doing this recording. So it went from 10,250, and as I'm doing this recording, all right, I'm going to zoom in so you can see. You see where it says close, and right now the prices are changing. All right, so it went from 10,250. Right now it's at 81.84. You see it's been as low as 7,900. Okay, so from 10,250 on this latest sales call that we shared with our audience, down to just under 8,000. And listen, we don't know if she's going to go down further. If we go back, the last time she went down here to almost 6,000. She may pierce through this point here and go down even further. And if she does, guess what? We're not lamenting it. Matter of fact, I want it to go down. Huh? Yeah, when's the last time you heard someone say that about Bitcoin? I want it to go down. Why? So that when we get a new buy signal, and it's just a matter of time, I don't know when we're going to get a new buy signal. I want it to go down so that when we get a new buy signal, I'm able to buy in cheaper than where I sold last time. So if you had one Bitcoin that became 1.284 Bitcoins on this sell cycle, and if you then are waiting on the next, give me a moment, let's go back. So one Bitcoin goes to 1.284 Bitcoin on this sell and then buy cycle. And let's say you take the 1.284 Bitcoin and move that over to cash with this sale. Went up. We were still in the sell. We did not get a buy here. We were still in the sell, and we are still in that sell right now as I'm doing this recording. So I want it to go down even more. I'd love for it to go down even more so that by the time I get a new buy confirmation, because it may go up $1,000, $1,500 or points before I get another buy confirmation. I want it to go down right now so that when I get a new buy confirmation, that I can come back in at a better price than what I sold it for. Whoops, give me a moment. Whoops. So I want to buy back in at less than $10,250. So if it goes down to $7,000, if it goes down to $6,000, I'm cool with that. Because if it goes down to $6,000, by the time she turns around and I'm able to get back in, I'm likely going to be able to get back in at less than $10,250, in which case, guess what? I would have increased my Bitcoin holdings again. Now, who's teaching that? Who's teaching that? I'll tell you who's teaching that. We are. We are. Ladies and gentlemen, what I just shared with you, gladly, and I used to sell the $5,000 stock market workshops and Forex workshops. I had a company in the mid-2000s, 2003 to 2006, a company called Financial Destination. They were in the network marketing space that paid us upwards of $15,000 a month at our height to teach and train on the stock market system that they had. So the fact that you get access to Digi Millionaires and what I just shared, well, you would know when we're issuing a sales call. You would know when we're issuing a new buy call. And we let you know that if we're wrong, if for instance, when we issued this sell call and the market went down, but then it started going back up, all right, and if it had continued to go up, we probably would have gotten a buy call or a buy confirmation at a price higher than what we sold it for. And we've got contingencies for that too. We've got contingencies for that. But you'll never know what those contingencies are if you're standing on the outside. So listen, I don't know where you're seeing this. It could be in an email list. It could be on social media. It could be on YouTube or what have you. If you're seeing this on some type of social media, like the post, leave some sterling comments. But there's likely going to be some type of call to action, whether it's a button that's popping up or what have you. Take advantage of that call to action and get your Katootie in Digi Millionaires so that we can help you get to Digi, my gosh, millionaire status. See you on our next training. Hey, good day, friends. I wanted to give you this quick addendum. I trust that you enjoyed today's training, and we've got so much more training to come to assist you in getting to Digi, my gosh, millionaire status. But I wanted to talk to you about a very exciting collaboration that we are going to be doing with a phenomenal marketing company called NetQube. Now, one of the things that we have been getting from our audience is they love what we're teaching. They love their building out their Digi portfolios that nobody can take away from them. The best way for you to become a Digi millionaire is for you to develop your own Digi portfolio that you own, that you control. At the same time, we've had an affiliate service so that if, let's say, Joe Average was starting to build his portfolio, Sue Average was starting to build her portfolio, they enjoyed our teaching style, they enjoyed everything that we were bringing to the table, they could refer, whoever, not required, and they would generate some affiliate income. But you know what? We didn't set that up to be a big income source. It's a one-tier affiliate program, and so one of the things that we were looking for was a way that those that really this message resonated with them and they wanted to promote it and get it out, that they could do so and make a lot more money. Also, when we started talking with the good folks over there at NetQube, we found out that this was just an amazing business model, because they are essentially an affiliate model where there are all types of products and services that many of us are already paying for these products and services, and we can just shift our dollars and get paid. All right. And with Digi Millionaires, for instance, by you getting Digi Millionaires through the NetQube portal, you essentially become your own customer. So you get Digi Millionaires, you've got your subscription, but you're basically getting a rebate to have this amazing service, Digi Millionaires. So we are in the process of integrating Digi Millionaires with NetQube. That's going to allow for a much more comprehensive compensation system. So if you want to start to refer NetQube, if you want to refer Digi Millionaires, with NetQube being the gateway, that's going to generate a much larger revenue source for you, at least potential revenue source for you, than just Digi Millionaires alone. That's one of the reasons we're making this collaboration. We get to do what we love to do, which is teach and train and continue to develop Digi Millionaires so that it helps to get you to Digi, my gosh, millionaire status. And then NetQube does all of the, techie kind of stuff behind the scenes, and gets you paid and all of that other stuff. And lastly, ladies and gentlemen, we've been in the investment arena since 1994. Started off in the mutual fund arena, then we transitioned into trading in the stock market, forex market, now the Digi market. But we've also been in marketing, and from a marketing standpoint, primarily network marketing. Gosh, how many is it now? I think we've built 6, maybe 7. So we've been fortunate in our 20 plus years of marketing to, along with our fantastic leadership team, it just wasn't us, to develop, I think it's 6 now, 6, get this, 6 7-figure, more than $1 million a year business interests in the marketing space. And so if you resonate with the message that we have, you're going to be able to get Digi Millionaires through the NetQube gateway. And now NetQube will have its own marketing materials and all of those good things, and there'll be so many offers that they'll have. They've got a phenomenal technology they call research pod technology, where you'll be able to click to publish, meaning if there's an offer, even something that's got nothing to do with Digi Millionaires inside of the NetQube model that you resonate with, you'll be able to go into your back office and click a little button, and you can publish that information to your Facebook or your Twitter or email, and it'll be a way to get that messaging out. And if somebody in your Facebook feed sees it and they click onto it and they buy the product or use the service or what have you, guess who gets paid? You do. It's an amazing, I'm not here to talk about the compensation. I'm a Digi Millionaire dude, right? But we are collaborating with NetQube, and it's going to be a way for you to generate revenue through NetQube, generate revenue because of Digi Millionaires through NetQube. And I will tell you that we are going to do from our part, because we have also done a lot of marketing, we've gotten pretty good at it. From our part, we're going to create a lot of content from a Digi standpoint, from a crypto standpoint, cryptocurrency standpoint, training like what you've seen today, that will help you in getting people interested in getting Digi Millionaires from you. Help people getting interested in finding out more about NetQube, because that's how they're going to get to Digi Millionaires, is to get through NetQube. So that's going to be at least a dual income opportunity, not to mention all the other income streams that NetQube is going to provide. So I wanted to just share this as an addendum If you're seeing this, it's likely that, I don't know if it's a particular page or some type of call to action button, or if someone sent this to you, get back to them and get all the information so that you can align with NetQube, get Digi Millionaires. And my gosh, let's get you to Digi, my gosh! Millionaire status. See you on the next training.